Holy smokes, guys. The big news that just dropped about Social Security might hit you harder than you think. Check this out. Even if you don't collect Social Security, this affects you because they are about to pull the rug out from underneath millions of Americans who do collect Social Security. It's not what they're used to. They thought they knew what was coming. Now, it's changed. And if you're one of the 66 million people who does collect Social Security, listen up carefully. What they're doing now to your monthly checks, come 2026, it's going to be different than what you've seen before. And for some people, it's going to be less money. Others, it'll be more money. But for most folks, it's gonna be a wash. And let me explain exactly what's going on. Every fall, the Social Security Administration announces what they call the COLA, which is short for Cost of Living Adjustment. Think of it as your yearly raise. You know, you get a raise at work. You get a raise with your Social Security check. But in reality, it's not that simple because it's much more complicated. For 2026, analysts are predicting that the COLA will be between 2.7 and 2.8%. So what does that really mean? Well, to illustrate, let's go to the extreme. Imagine your Social Security check is $1,000 a month. 2.8% of that is $28. So if they raise it by 2.8%, your new amount would be $1,028. But now imagine your Social Security check is $5,000 a month. Well, 2.8% of that is still only $140. So if they raise it by 2.8%, your new amount would be $5,140. Point being, the higher your Social Security check is already, the smaller the increase is as a percentage, right? So that's what they're looking at right now. Right now, the average Social Security check is $1,865. So if it were to land at 2.8%, the average Social Security check would go up $52.76, bringing it to about $1,917 a month. But hold on, because there's a catch. Just as we saw last year, your Social Security might go up, but your expenses don't necessarily go down. Take a look at this. Medicare Part B premiums are expected to increase by about $21.50 a month, and Part D prescription drug plans could jump as high as $50 a month. So do the math. If your Social Security goes up $50 a month, but your drug plan rises $50 a month, then guess what? You end up with nothing. Your expenses went up, but your Social Security went up to match it. So basically, you're treading water. You're just staying afloat. And that's what a lot of people are calling this year's COLA a treading water increase. So let's get a little bit deeper into this, shall we? Why is the COLA only 2.8%? Shouldn't it be higher? Well, the way the COLA is calculated is based on what's called the CPIW, which stands for the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners. But wait, rewind. Who's the guy? Urban wage earners are not the same as seniors. Seniors spend money differently. We spend more on things like healthcare, housing, and long-term care, which have been rising much faster than average inflation. So while the official COLA might be 2.8%, your real-world costs could feel closer to 4 to 5%. So basically, the numbers on paper don't always match up with what you're actually experiencing in real life. And unfortunately, this is happening at the exact same time that we are seeing more and more seniors living in poverty. In 2024, the U.S. Census Bureau reported that poverty among those over 65 jumped from 14.2% to 15%, which means nearly 1 million more seniors are now living below the poverty line. And that is a big deal. On top of that, come September 30th, 2025, Social Security will stop issuing paper checks. All 66 million recipients must have direct deposit or get a prepaid debit card. While they say this is to prevent fraud and speed up payments, others worry it will create problems for seniors without easy access to banking. Here's the bottom line. Inflation is still a major concern, and economic policies like tariffs continue to impact prices. Retirees on fixed incomes are feeling the squeeze, trying to balance rising costs with limited incomes. The traditional COLA hasn't kept up with expenses for many, leaving them to scramble to make ends meet. Just take a quick look at the last few years. In 2022, the COLA was 5.9%. In 2023, it jumped to 8.7%. In 2024, it dropped to 3.2%. And now in 2025, it's projected to be 2.5%. And 2026 looks like it's going to be between 2.7 and 2.8%. Bottom line, the ups and downs are making it hard for retirees to budget and plan for the future. And remember, about 40% of the people collecting Social Security, they rely on it for all their income. So these changes are a big deal. Some suggest changing the formula to better reflect seniors' actual expenses, like the CPIE, which stands for the Consumer Price Index for the elderly. That way, the COLA could provide some real relief instead of just a temporary illusion of it. Now I want to hear from you. Would you rather see the government stick with the current method of calculating the COLA, or should they switch to something like the CPIE that takes seniors' actual expenses into account? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to stay tuned because there's a lot more coming. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.